Hello Radiant One, and welcome to this video about what I call the 4 C's for entrepreneurs. What I have discovered through my experience of working one-on-one and in groups with loads of soulful entrepreneurs, soul-driven, heart-based entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs, is that there are 4 areas in which the fear-based mindset of limiting belief, imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, and scarcity really shows up. And those are 4 areas that have immense potential for healing, and through that healing, thus freeing yourself of those fear-based mindset really expressions. And before I dive into the 4 C's, I just want to start off by, letting you know of a core premise of mine. And for me, that is that love is the way. When I say love is the way, I don't mean if this is the first time you've encountered one of my videos. I just want to make clear that I'm not talking about airy fairy, fluffy unicorn and butterfly and rainbows kind of love. I'm talking about like the real love, the truth, the one that seeks a unity and compassion and also justice for all. So it's not about suppressing or ignoring anything. It's about being willing to see, being willing to hear, and being really willing to go into the dark areas of our minds in order to heal those things. That is what love for me is all about. It's the most powerful thing there is, and it is through the mastery through love that we truly are able to liberate ourselves. Another thing that's important to note is that love is a choice, meaning that love will never force itself upon you, because it's inherent in its quote unquote DNA or in its energy. It can't. Love expands. Love through expanding love, you dissolve. But love cannot, even though it may be the quote unquote best thing for you, it cannot force itself upon you. And that is what fear does. Fear will come flying in your face when you least expect it or least want it. It will show up in a million different disguises as, a million different things. But in truth, it is all the same root cause, which is fear, and really the separation from your source, which is love. And so, as I go into these 4 C's, just keep in mind that love is the choice, and so in each of these areas, you have the opportunity and the possibility to really take that love and use it to dissolve those fears. Again, I don't talk about busting through or I don't use that kind of terminology where it's very apparent that it's actually stemming from the same kind of abuse system that fear uses. I believe and know that love will, as I said, never force itself upon you, but it will support you in healing and dissolving if you are willing to welcome it in. So the 4 areas in which I see limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, and self-sabotage, as well as scarcity, really take hold or be within soulful entrepreneurs is in the look of, I call it competition, but really I call it colleague. So there's competition, but you can also choose to look at your competition as colleagues. One is based in fear and the other is based in love. The second area in which this fear-based mindset shows up is in comparison. Comparison of yourself and others, or towards others, and usually you come up lacking. or falling short and not being enough. And rather than seeing that as your as comparison, I like to look at it as connections. That's the second. So that's the first C was competition. The second C is comparison. And then there is your core. And your core is really all about who you are and what you stand for in this world. It's about being authentic. It's about saying yes to the things that you want to do and saying yes to yourself, and also saying no to the things that you know are not in alignment with your core and not in alignment with your truth. And so, very often when we talk about the core, there's the fear of not enoughness, but of not saying of having to say yes to things that you actually don't want to do, of putting out products and services that you may not really want to deliver, but that's what quote unquote you're supposed to, when your core is really telling you something else. So in terms of your core, it's all about returning to your source and knowing that you are enough as you are. And then there is the third C, and that is cash, money, that is. And that shows up for many, many entrepreneurs who are in their beginning of their journeys. They struggle with this area, that there is not enough, that and really, you know, all of these four C's, the competition, the comparison, the core, and the cash, they're all really interconnected, because many of the limiting beliefs that you have, the imposter syndrome that you struggle with, the self-sabotage that you may be experiencing, or the scarcity mindset, there's not enough, can really show up in any of these four areas. And so, as I said, love is really the key here. But what I like to say is also that clarity is king. Because when you have clarity over an issue, you're able to heal the root cause rather than its expressions. So, even though, and that can be shit scary. I wanna emphasize that when we experience any of these fear-based mindset issues or expressions, then choosing to really look at it can be scary. And so very often we stick our head in the sand and we choose not to look. We choose not to look at our cash. We choose not to look at our finances because we don't really want to know how quote unquote bad it really is. But the thing is, in order for you to heal it, you have to look. You have to get clarity over where am I at? And once you know where you're at, you're then able to make sound decisions based in love. The same goes for your core. If there are products and services that are not in alignment with your truth, it's important for you to know so that you can stop delivering them and instead begin focusing on what brings you joy and satisfaction and that your clients and your customers love to buy. And so it takes courage. It takes courage and it takes conviction, but it is possible to do that. And so what I want to leave you with in this video is dare to look, have the courage to look, and know that you cannot fail. It may seem so, and fear in many shapes or forms may come flying in your face, but when you choose love, that which we're ready to heal will be brought up, and it is through the mastery through love. So that is through compassion, it is through acknowledgement, it is through forgiveness, it is through acceptance, it is through allowing yourself to be who you are in this very moment, knowing full well that there are things that you would like to heal or have different, but to give yourself space to be, and to shine a light on that. So that is what I'm going to leave you with in this video. Have the courage to look, and really sit with it. Let yourself sit with it, and through the mastery, through love, allow yourself to experience the powerful healing that is ready, that is waiting for you. Take care. I love you.